That always just whacks me out. Like it shows up on my screen.
I know. Have you
I haven't played
checked?
around. I forget. I keep forgetting. I never remember to look at it the next time, and I'm like, it looks like it's in reverse to me. You know, I'm always like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, I need to probably ask somebody if there's like a button I can
Let
push.
me join that Zoom and make sure that
Yeah,
it's
make
right
sure.
ways.
I'm pretty sure it always ends up being right ways, but
Yeah.
it's just weird. It's a weird phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
Grab this, one of these mics real quick and then we'll get rolling. We're going to talk about those type of verbs you've been asking about.
Which one?
The ones like that do different things, like AI verbs, like the C.
Oh, rock and roll. These balls are paper thin.
Talk about, but really have to cover much.
Heard. Hey, where'd you get that shirt? I haven't seen that shirt.
It was in the gift shop a while back.
Really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
I don't remember how long ago.
Speaking of shirts, Stormy, we should get together and talk about some shirt ideas.
Yeah, shirt designs.
Because I can, anything that you can imagine, I can probably draw like as best as I can, you know, but we can work on something to get it, your vision, you know.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We need to make. I also need to make you guys a new. In the past, I used to have some departmental shirts like language seal, jacket, or something like that. I haven't
Yeah, we
done
should
one
be
in a very
swagged
long.
out before
I
we
haven't
go.
done one in a very long time. I think it'd be a good time to do one. I don't know that any of y'all even have one of those. So it's been a long time since I've made a shirt like that. It'd be good to have one of those.
You posted the link on Facebook, right?
Yes,
Okay.
at least I believe I did.
Yes.
So, this way, here we go, mics. This is mic number 3.
Testing, okay. Testing with that. Okay, I don't know if anybody's popped in there yet, or it's like Holly's in there,
I'm trying to connect
Pam.
right now.
Okay, Bojo. Hey, Pam, just out of curiosity, the stuff you see on the board, is it going the right way? Can you?
It is. It's accurate.
Okay, it always does this to me, and I keep forgetting to ask IT how to do that on my computer to make it look different. On my computer, it looks
Yeah, no, it
backwards.
is. It's perfect.
So it always messes my mind up. And I remembered about usually at the time it happens, and then like after class, I just forget about it, never go look at it. So that's good. Okay, I'm gonna start off, I'm gonna do a quick prayer in the language, give us some good thoughts and good words, hopefully help us as we're learning this language. Mamugosnan. We madmo. Manato Jiptubin Wetch Mokek. Manato Jiptubin Wetch now quick. Manato Jiptubin Wetch Pacage Manato Jiptubin Wetch Kasinyak. Nokmas Kignan, Mishok Egypt. Jayak Manadok Nakmakshana Ibneswat. Mamugosnan, Miguecha Mingoyak Manokmat. Minajitma Ghost, when we do Daskiego, Quabum Gi Kekyajak, Minapinojak. Mina yaknogejuk, mina shimaganeshi, mina gorbamazajuk, emigadi wat iba Ukraine jinkadik. We do das kiego and nagdowindum, gorbamazajuk wajiminokmaza wat gorbamazajuk emigadi wat. Mamagosna migwecha mingo yak mishkutkiwanen, sema, kishki, wapshkoviak, wishkvamishkos, jayak mishkutkiwan, emingoyak. Juendag zi gormazu kema just nuat shora orjo pingo mina ni jok meshna kwaje eken dasyak anet or bodewad ni mun edap nuat anet or jeshmoan. Aha, ayachmo. Yo. Mina jaya gormazu seba bisuk. Anake tazom kakosuk. Aha. Yo. And then I said, and those on the line on the computer. I didn't want to leave y'all out of the conversation. At first, I was talking about those of us that are gathered here, help us and whatnot, as we're on this language. I thought, well, and those that are on the line or on the computer. Okay, so Again, one of our little fundamental kind of things that I always talk about, you know, if you can get these down, this is a really good thing, because these are our who, what, when, where, why questions. Did any of these look familiar to anybody? Is there any of them that jump out to any of you? Like, if there's one of these, let's say you really feel like you know, throw it out there. Even if you're wrong, that's okay. Any of these look familiar? What about when need you? Y'all online? Anybody? When need you?
Ooh,
Ooh, okay. When need you? Like we said, when need you? Oh, quack. Who is that woman? Or when need you? Oh, nene. Or when need you? Oh, gigabe. Who is that boy? When need you? Oh, gigiabo. Who is that girl? Wek need you?
How?
Over here, what? What? Good try, good try. What? That is one of them, so you are close. Nipija, nipija. Like I said, nipija ejiayin.
where?
Where? Good. I heard two people once on that. What? Ketnam wakajuk. They are smart ones. Nijetso. Like nijetso de bugana, or nijetso pongesien, nijetso.
Oh, like how far or how much time?
Close. Yeah, that was, I actually said what the time was, but literally how much or how many. When you say what time it is, you're saying literally like how much of it is there. So that's what you're literally saying. How much does it measure out to? Those are the two differences in nijetso to buganak. That's like how much does it measure out to, talking in reference to time. And then nijetso yawa, the other way you can say it, it means literally like how much of it is there. Talking about the time of nijetso. So how much or how many? What about nijapi? Nijapi.
When?
When? You're getting ready to say it there, weren't you?
No, oh, I've said them all, I'm
You're
letting everybody
mentally
else.
saying, okay,
Yeah.
good. 1 minute, 1 minute, that's good. Good. Good to share the time. That's right. Need you yet? Need you yet? Anyway. That's right.
It-
Close. Started with a what? Which? Need you yet? Which? What? Is over there. Where can need you? Need you we?
Why?
Why? And then need you. How or what? There you go. Bam, how or what? So these question words, if you can get these down and memorize these, it will make your comprehension of Potawatomi just go through the roof. Oh, bam. I mean, you're like, bam. And somebody says, need PJs, and immediately you're like, need PJ where? What needs you? If PJ is Wabak. What are you gonna do for them? Bam, what needs you? Need you be Gamaji. When did he or she leave? Bam, when? You know, so how much? And you can, when you hear those and you immediately know what they are, it'll help you understand the whole rest of the sentence, because then you can kind of focus in on the meat and potatoes, if you will. And this, along with the conjunction form, and you can understand all kinds of stuff. Then it's just a matter of figuring out what the verb was being used, or maybe the past or future, and you're golden. Doesn't matter how fast they say it or how slow, you got it. So again, when need you? When need you? If you want to repeat these where you're at, just so you can say the words, because anytime that you're repeating these words and you're saying them over and over and over again, they're going to start to lock in your mind. When need you? When need you? Who? When need you? They say sometimes you have to hear something like, I don't even know, 30, 40, 50, 100 times. That just depends. Before it really kind of locks in your mind. When need you? When need you? Who? Wek need you? Wek need you? Wek need you? What? Wek need you? Need peja? Need peja? Need peja? Where? Need peja? Need jetso? Need jetso? Need jetso? How much or how many? It's okay. Need you pee? Need you pee? Need you pee? When? Need you pee? Need you yet? Need you yet? Need you yet? Which? Need you yet? Need you we? Need you we? Need you we? Why? Need you? Need you? How or what? Need you? Now, if you're kind of thinking to yourself, maybe I don't have all these down, I kind of just want to focus on maybe some of the really high frequency used ones out of this group. There's definitely a few that you hear a lot more than others. Now, you're going to hear quite a few way needs, hear quite a few wek needs, quite a few need peages, and even need you peas. You may not hear maybe as many which or even whys, because I mean, a lot of people, they don't like to question things. They don't like to be questioned. Need you we, and then maybe like need you is quite a bit, gets used quite a bit, same as what or how need you, and then need yet so probably not as much. So if you were kind of wanting to say, hey, I want to kind of focus on certain ones to really get them down first. I mean, I believe all of these you really want to get them down. But if you haven't got them all down, these are the ones that maybe you might want to pinpoint. Just kind of start there and then kind of grow from that. But the when need you, wek need you, need peed you, need you pee, and need you. Those, I guess, 5 would be good ones to really just kind of work on, kind of tune in on, if you will. Once you get those, you can add the others as you go. Okay. So today, let me see. I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple of things. I want to talk about the long form in Potawatomi, and I also want to talk about a couple of different types of verbs. So we all should have seen this a few hundred times, and we'll continue to see it probably a lot more of the namaji, ali, gamaji, maji, yushilu, namaji man, we but not you leave, gamaji man, we all leave, maji, you all leave, and majik, they leave. Oh, I do want to say something real quick here. While I got you guys on the line here, I do want to let you know that we're doing a winter storytelling event, and it's going to be this Thursday from 6 to 7:30 at the Cultural Heritage Center. We are going to also do it live, technology willing. I mean, hopefully, we will do our best to make sure that it comes online, whether we have to use a phone to go live or something. We'll make it live. If you do come in person, we will have some food. We're going to have some meat pies and some fry bread, some other little stuff to eat. So
Be there.
and we and we do plan on spreading out a little bit. So we've got a very large room here, and we've got a mic, so we don't have to get right up on each other. We can spread out as much as we need to so that people feel comfortable and we don't get people too close to each other. So
Poster will be done by the end of the day.
that's okay. Good deal. So namaji, again, I leave namaji, gamaji, you leave, maji, he or she leaves, namaji men, we but not you, gamaji men, we all, gamaji, you all, maji, they, maji, he or she. So now, if I just did like this and I say, I'm just going to put one up here and see if you guys can recognize it. See, the thing about things like this is it's good to memorize them in order, but it's also good not to memorize them in order. So if you're making yourself like a chart at home or you're making yourself some little cards, again, it's good to memorize in order because sometimes you can sit there and be like, okay, I know the third one was that, the fourth one is this one, but when they come out at you, they're not going to come in order. Otherwise, you're gonna be like how you do English with numbers. You can't think how to count. You go fish, down. Okay, yeah, go on. So you count to the 6th one. Like, that's the one. Let me just throw a couple of them out here and see if you recognize them. Namaji men. Which one? We not you. Namaji men. Good. What about Namaji? Y'all, you,
They,
y'all, youans. the other one. I was like, yous, y'all, you plural, gamaji. Okay, what is they? I heard they. They is majik. Majik is they. What about, how would you say I leave?
Namaji.
Gamaji. Good. How would you say you leave? Heard of that? Gamaji. Okay. Now we're getting back in order, so let's get out of order again. How would you say we all leave?
Namajiman.
Gamaji. Yeah. We all leave. And I hear y'all, those of you that are whispering, I can hear you kind of. Depending on my hearing, deep shed again, a little bit deaf, but occasionally I pick some stuff up. My wife tells me it's selective hearing, like if it was Potawatomi, I'm hearing it. It's other things I'm not paying attention, but yeah, that's enough. I don't know. So what about, how do you say he or she leaves?
Gamaji.
Say that again.
Gamaji.
You say gamaji?
Gamaji.
Gamaji is you leave. This maji.
Oh, Gamaji. Oh, W. Yeah. Gamaji.
Nothing on the verb.
Oh,
Miss Maji, yep. That's okay. Good job. I appreciate you guys taking a leap out there. Remember that this is it's intended to be a very safe, good feeling type environment. So I appreciate you jumping out there and trying, because I know how sometimes it can be a little nerve wracking, especially as adult learners, to kind of put yourself out there and try. But I guarantee that if you do that, it is going to come back like double on you. Like you're going to have such a better development or growth in the language. I don't mean like come back on you in a bad way. Let me readdress that. It's going to be a good thing. If you can kind of put yourself out there like that and try, it's really going to help you down the road, really pick it up a lot faster. So I appreciate that. So good work with that. Okay, so we basically have that form. Now, there's a long form in Potawatomi, which I haven't talked a bunch about. And all it really is that same form we had before, we put a DE in there. So like, Vida Gia, I go. Vida Gia. Gia. Or you can say Wida. And then Vida Gia.
No, that was me. I apologize.
Let me go.
Oh.
Hold on a second. here.
Same
What is
time.
this? Hold on, apologies.
Pretty good. If possible, yeah. Okay. Let me, can I call you back? I'm actually teaching a class right now. If you call me back with a number, it'd actually be my ex-wife that would be doing the shots because she's a nurse. So she doesn't. Okay, thank you. Yep, bye.
Sorry about that. I would have ignored it, but something about my daughter, her allergies. So. Okay, good to Gia, you go. Gia, or what is Gia? Good to Giaman is the we, but not you. Good to Giaman. We all. I apologize, my handwriting's starting to deteriorate already. It happens fast sometimes. Good to Giam, and then just nothing on it. Giac. Okay. Nidijia, Gidijia, Gia, or what is Gia? Nidijiaman, we but not you, Gidijiaman, Gidijiam, and Giac. Now, if you're wondering yourself, why would I use this long form? There's a couple of reasons, okay? There's some verbs that you just have to put it on. This is one of them. Gia is one of them. It's what it is I think a long time ago in our language, there used to be like a vowel or something on this verb, that we lost the vowel over time, but we still kind of know it's there. And so we have to put this nida on there so that it doesn't do some weird, I guess it just has to work that way. Another reason to do it is because certain verbs will change. you can stop an initial change by a verb by putting this on there. I'll give you an example. One really common one is bakte, okay, bakte. And oddly enough, this one actually starts off a lot of times with an M sound instead of an N. So bakte, gabakte. But then it's bakade is the he or she form.
Mm.
So what happens is it makes a little change, and a lot of these ones that have like a B and a K or a P and a K will make this kind of move over when we kind of move. You can stop the verb from doing that though if you use the long form. Use the long form, you can say nada bakada. So you can stop it from doing that. Gada bakada. And then just bakada. So that's one reason. Oh, I went to the D after the T, skip. Okay, whatever. D's and T's are so close. Okay. So, but like I said, it'll stop it from making this little change up here. And that's a reason to do that. There's a few verbs that are like a pukanage. The verb to win is pukanage is the verb. But when you say I won, it's pukanage if you're not using the long form. So it's like pukanage, and it moves over like that. Pukanage. But if you do that long form, it would be pukanage. Now, when you put the past tense to future, it doesn't make any difference. It's not going to do any of that stuff. It's only in the present tense you have to worry about this. So like in the future, in the past, it's just going to stay, pukanage. So it's going to be like this. Like in the future, in the past, you just take off this VE. So for the future, you put a we in here. Norwegia. Just acts just like the normal ones. Norwegia. So this is only something that happens in the present tense. So outside of there, it doesn't make any difference. The present or the past doesn't matter. Norwegia acts just like normal ones. And this is something just kind of put in your hat and just kind of spin it around a little bit. And you'll understand then why certain things are like will occur. Like, why does that change? What's going on with that? That's because of some of these little things. Majority of our verbs fit into that nice smooth pattern. Namaji, gamaji, maji. But there is some that have a little bit of irregularity. This is one place that this happens. With some of these that have kind of a B and a P, or a P and like a K or a G at the front, or a B and a G, a B and an M even. But most say does it too. I think of most say, but not don't. But you can stop it from doing that again by using the long form. Bemose is a very common word, the word to walk. So what happens here is, if you don't use the long form, you have to know that it's going to change. So you're like, bemose, bemose, the bum salmon. Bum salmon. So there's the I, the you, the he or she. But if you use the long form, you don't have to worry about all this junk. You just go nede, bemose. So I guess the key is when you have two consonants and a vowel, that's kind of what it is. When you see two consonants and a vowel right after it, especially B's and P's, it tends to move over like that. There's a couple other words that do it on that too. So two consonants and a vowel, it's kind of like hello, it's going to move over on me. And I know for those of you that thought, man, I've really got this stuff figured out, I know that throws a wrench into everything, but it's just one of those
This helps.
little peculiarities, I guess, if you will. So, but again, it wouldn't make any difference if you're in the future or the past. So nedibamose, gedibamose, bamose, nedibamosemen, gedibamosemen, gedibamosem. I'll write it all the way out. Start being lazy again. Sem and suck. I walk. I need to change color. Now that's looking bad up here. You walk, he or she, we but not you, we all, you all, they walk. So bamose. So if you look at these next to each other, this is kind of what's happened. This is the difference of what's going on with these. Like I said, it will make a little more sense as you look at them more. The nice thing is, if you just don't worry about it, if you're always in the past or future, you're always about, I'm gonna go for a walk, you're never actually doing it. It's real simple because you just take the DE out and you punch your marker for your tense marker in here, and you don't worry about it. So like if I wanted to say, I did walk, I would say, Gibmose.
So it always throws it out.
Gibmose, yeah.
Okay.
It's only in the present tense that you worry about it all. Like that, bam. But that's exactly how it does anyway. Normally acts that way. Gibmose, bamose, gibmosemen, gibmosemen, gibmosem, gibmosuk. So. Now, if I haven't confused you enough, I'm ready to confuse you. Hopefully I haven't confused you too much. I mean, I don't know if you guys have run into this too much, or maybe you've just kind of been oblivious to it, and that's okay. Sometimes oblivious is okay. Hang on, you're ready.
Justin,
Wow.
I can't tell on the screen because your hand are the he, she, and the they forms are identical.
Yes.
Is that what I'm reading? Okay, just
Yes.
make sure I'm reading it right.
Sorry, I apologize for my handwriting.
And apologize, mine's were.
I don't know, man. It gets bad sometimes, so, but then again, you write so much, you just start to, so. Okay, so that's one little peculiarity that I wanted to look at today. Another one that I wanted to show you is verbs that end in ZE. So there's a couple of different verbs that do a little different things on a couple of different spots. Ones that end in ZE are one of them. So if I say, for example, the verb zagzag. Anybody happen to know what the verb zagzag is? Scared. Zagzag. Okay. So the zagus, it kind of changed into more of an S and flips. So from Z to ES. The zagus, I am scared. Let me write this all the way out. Let's say I need to change color. It's too much red. I'm gonna take this off, but whatever colors is too.
Degree.
It's something different. It's red. Too much red. Take this off.
Ooh, yeah.
That sounds nice. That seems nice. Zagus. Zagzag. Zag. Zag. Zag zone to me. Zag Zeke. Okay, so this is all the verb to be scared. I just wrote the I, you, he or she. It's all scared. So now, so these ones that end in ZE, they're kind of like a state of being. A lot of times they're like, I'm scared, I'm mad. Life, to be alive, is one of these verbs. Anytime you see these Z's, it's kind of like something like it's like a state of being in a way. And I'll give you a few different ones here in a minute. Like Bamadze, that means he or she is alive. So it follows this pattern. Nazagus, I am scared. Gizagus, you are scared. And then it's normal. Zagzag, Zagzamin, Zagzamin, Zagzam, and Zagzee. The only real difference here is that it's usually it's that I, eek, it's a uk. And the other change is is right up here at the top. Star. Yeah, the flip here from the Z to more of an S sound and it flips right there. The Zagus, yeah. Gizagus, Zagzag, the Zagzamin, Gizagzamin, Gizagzam, and then Zagzeek. We'll do some more that are just like this here. While y'all are catching, I don't know if y'all might be right, so down there, so I'm gonna go over here and do one. I'm gonna have to kill the scared a little bit or move it over. This is all scared though, right here. I'm just gonna take this little part out, and I'll write one for Bamadze. All folks are looking at that. Now, this is also one that you want to do with the Bamadas. So I should do that for y'all. I'll do Shkadze.
Anger.
Shkadze.
Stop.
So we've also becomes Neshkades. Neshkades. Shkadze. Okay, so I tried not to confuse y'all, make it more complicated. It is what it is. This one is also going to do that little move over thing that we just did. So it becomes the Neshkada. See how it moved over a little bit? The Neshkada. Now, to stop this from happening, again, if you use the long form, it won't do that little shift over. But so it's got two things going on. It's got like this little move over, and it's also a ZE verb. So in that first person, it's going to flip from ZE to ES. So Neshkades, I'm mad. Neshkades, you're mad. Neshkadze, he or she is mad. Neshkadzemen, we but not you. Neshkadzemen, we all. Neshkadzem, you all. And Neshkadzik, they are mad. So this one has two things going on. Again, it's got the move over a little bit and ZE. You can get rid of the move over situation by putting the long form. So if I put instead of an N and a G, I just put the nid, it would stay like Mishkad. And then you don't have to flip at the end. So since I'll write that way real quick so you can see that. So if I did the nid, it would go like this. Nid, Mishkad. Good. Mishkad. So if we use the long form, that little move over right here, let me highlight it or something. This little deal right there is not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen over because you use that long form. So this is kind of one of those benefits of using that long form. Now you only have to worry about the Z thing right here, how it flips right there to ES. ES, it's back to Z, normal, and then E. So,
I have a question. I typed it into the chat.
okay, let me look at it here. Thank you, Big West, for letting me know that you had a question. I've been looking at my box. Oh, we got a lot of questions. You ain't the only question. We have a number of questions. That's okay. Let's see what we got here. So, the nozzle one for colors is not the same. But you're right, the Z on the animate ones would be like that.
You got it.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. So like Mishkolze, he or she is red. Nimishkolas, I'm red. Yeah. Okay. The interesting thing about those is it seems like we don't usually talk about those a lot except in the he or she form when I think about it. You don't tend to say like I'm red or I'm green or I'm,
Oh, that's true.
But technically they would do that. Yeah, you're correct about that. That is true. But a lot of those ZE ones, a lot of them are emotions. Again, mishkadze, to be mad, tagze, to be sad is an emotion. Bamadze, menopmadze, he or she is living a good life. Menopmadze, that would be another one.
Oh, so that's like a clue for us, like if we hear that ending?
Yeah, if you hear that ZE ending, it's gonna do it's gonna do this ES in the first person, ES in the second, IK. Yeah, that ZE ending is kind of telling you that's gonna happen. And like I said, there's several of them, there's several verbs that fit in this ZE, but they're usually like state of beings, what's the name? Wow, yowze. Like he or she is round would be one. He or she is tall. Kanoze is one of them. Takoze, he or she is short. They're states of being. You're either, whether they be emotional being or like physical being. A lot of times we'll have that ZE on them. So. Have you do tall? We'll do tall. Tall's a good one. I'm tall, but you're tall. We're all tall. I'm short, you're short. And again, these are ones, I mean, they make more sense the more you do them. So if you're a little bit confused at the moment, that's okay. They do make more sense the more you do them. And then you start to recognize, oh, that's one of those ZE ones. Okay. But again, if you're doing the past or future tense, it doesn't matter. It's like, or I guess it doesn't matter still on the it doesn't matter the front, I guess, but it does matter the back. Let's see here. Let's see, Kanoze. He or she is tall. Probably not the 5'9", it's average still. I don't know. Unless I'm shrinking, but they say you get older, you start shrinking. I don't know if that's true or not. There's an inch here, there's an inch there, so I believe I'm still 5'9". So that Kano. This one's in there. So, yeah, I shouldn't do this. Let's go. I'm gonna do this. Okay, that was enough of that. I don't want to confuse it anymore. I realize it's going to do something. It's going to confuse you just a smidge more. So just know that those ZEs, they flip. Now, let's stop those for now. Do something a little more simple. Simplistic. Maybe not simple, but a little different here. Let's go over our, well, we can do one more type of word real quick. We'll do one that has it's called an AE alteration. Okay, this is one you see quite a bit too, like be out. Be as the verb to come. Bed. Sleep. Even Gia is one of the type verbs. Verb to go. This one, it kind of flips back and forth between the, like it's nebia, I come, gubia, you come, and then it's bia, he or she comes, nebiaman, me minus you, gabiaman, y'all, gabiam, welcome, and then it goes back to biak. They come. So on this one, it only changes on the he or she form and the they form. That's the only place it changes, but the same runs true for like mba, sleep. It's numba, gumba, mbe, numbiaman, gumbiaman, gumbiam, and then back to back. That's called an AE alteration, is what it is. But whenever we write them in the dictionary, we always write them in the third person, so you'll see them written like that with that little E on it. There's not a ton of them, but there's some significant ones, because obviously sleep is kind of an important verb. Come is a kind of important verb. Go is a pretty important verb. So they're not on a ton of them, but they're on some that are, real useful verbs that you want to be able to say. So you kind of got to know about them. And with Gia, like I said, you have to use the long form of that one, because there's like this false I that's not there anymore. That you just kind of, and that took me a long time to understand why this was. Like, honestly, I didn't understand this completely until I looked at a little bit of Ojibwa, because I had speakers that would always tell me, you got to use the long form of the verb. You got to use the long form of the verb. I'm like, why? Why? Why can't I just go, no? Why do I have to use the long form? And in Ojibwa, it's got this extra vowel that's on this verb. What it is it still kind of affects the way that we conjugate even today, even though, we haven't been one group with the Ojibwas for probably 1,000 years, 500 to 1,000 years. But our language still kind of has that in there, if you will. We just don't have the understanding of why it's in there. We're just like, okay, put it in there. So, okay. I feel like your minds are probably getting pretty weighted down now. I might do something a little simpler. Like I said. Then again, why? I tell you what, I'll just drive through here. I'm going to give you another one of these little different ones, just so you can kind of see each of these types. And it's going to take a while to kind of regurgitate and kind of run over these and start to really recognize them. But another one is it's an EO deletion, what it is. Okay, so they'll drop off. And some of these verbs are ones that you're going to recognize, like chikazo. What is chikazo?
Like,
Toy.
Chikazo is one of these verbs. Jiptime. What's that verb? Sit. What about gumbo? All you know is gumbo. Okay,
No.
sing.
Oh,
Sing. So these are like OE. I don't know if it's even called deletion or just falls off. I don't know the correct linguistic terms of this, but they're OE type verbs. I think deletion is not the right word for this, because they kind of just disappear. So like in the first person, you say,
Modmo go in there?
do what?
Is Modmo go in there? To pray?
No.
Okay.
I got loud. Sorry. That does not go in there. And I think what you notice about these is a lot of times there's a vowel in between. the ZO or the BE. You see how Modmo is right next to another consonant? I think that may be something that affects Modmo. That's why it's not in this category. But Nishnabemo, or Potawatomi is. Anybody know what Nishnabemo?
You speak your language?
Speak Indian, speak your language, speak Potawatomi, speak Indian, Nishnabemo. It'll do this. So here we go. Again, it kind of goes to more of an S sound. Nachikas, I play. Good chicas, you play. Chicazo, he or she plays. Nachicas, men. Good chicas, men. Good chicazón. Chi. Week. Okay, so the chicas, I play. As you can see, the Z changed to more of an S and the O has disappeared. Gone. Same thing here, good chicas. The Z is more of an S and the O has disappeared. So this one actually operates a little bit, if you think about it, like that ZE too. That ZO just, it kind of flips, but I guess not completely because the O is gone. So I guess it's why it just drops off. Try to make a comparison. It was a failed comparison. The chicas, good chicas, chicazo, he or she plays. The chicasman, we but not you play. Good chicasman. So here, again, the O is gone. The O is gone. Comes back though when we get to you all. Good chicazone. God, that's one of the names there. That's why I looked ugly. Wasn't the right word I was trying to change. So down here, good chicazone, you all play, and then chicas week. So the ending's a little bit different. Thank gosh, I just stepped on the power cord, but I didn't step in one that pushed it over.
Something snapped.
That'd been bad. So, ne chicas, I play. Good chicas, you play. Chicazo, he or she plays. Ne chicasmen, again, the O's gone. Good chicasmen, we all play. The O's gone. Get chicazone, the O's back. You all play. Chicas week, O's gone with a week at the end. So let's do another one of these over here and let y'all kind of look at that one and kind of think about it for a minute or write it down if you're writing it down. And please tell me if I'm right, if I'm deleting stuff or deleting stuff, but getting rid of it too quick. I can slow down a little bit. The good thing about recording these is we can always, once I get them back up there, you can go back and look at it if you need to, you can pause them or whatever. But just let me know if I'm going too fast. So on sit, Najib Dub, we changed colors here. I don't know why I keep getting back to red. Man. Purple. It's a purple. What's that? Watch what you say. Who did? Oh, does he? Oh, goodness. So Dwight really likes the purple color, so maybe that's a Dwight spirit here. He's not with us in person, but the Jeep Dub, I sit. Get Jeep Dub, you sit. Jeep Tibet, he or she sits. The Jeep Dubman. We minus you sit. Gajib Dubman. We all sit. Gajibdom. Yeah. A little bit, that's not really. Okay, so again, the verb here is juptivet. That's your root, that's the root of the verb, that's how it is in the third person, that's how we usually write it like in the dictionary. Juptivet, nejipta, I sit, Good jeeped up, so the E has fallen off, it's gone. No jeeped up, I sit, good jeeped up, you sit, again, the E's gone. Jeeped back, it's there like normal. The jeeped up men, the E is gone, we did not use it. Get jeeped up men, we all sit. G, or the E is gone. Get jeeped up them, the E is back. And then jeeped up, the E is gone with the week. Jeeped up week, they sit. If these aren't clicking for you right away, don't get frustrated by these. Again, the majority of verbs really do sit in our nemaji, gamaji, happy, simple, goes the right way world. You don't. And then at least on one hand, at least there's like a little small category of some of these where you can get like, hey, there's like, 15, 20, however many of them, they kind of fit in this little category. There are a couple of verbs that don't fit in any category. Those are the ones that are like, what? It just does things that nothing else does. Like, hey, but that's like that in English too. There's words that are irregular, don't operate the way everything else does. But these kind of fit into a nice little category, O or E, if you will. So I'm going to take this chikas off here. I'm going to put a different one up here. We'll put Nishnabam real quick. Talk Indian or talk Potawatomi. My eraser is failing me, which is my hand. Okay. So this is gonna be a long ride here. Here we go. I'll change colors. Put up blue. Aqua blue. Oh, the Nishnabam. O's gone. Nishnabam. O is gone. So the U. I. Again, this is talk Indian, talk Potawatomi. Native. Native Nishnabam. And that's back. Nishnabam. She. Nishnabam. That's back here. This one. Scan out. Well, this one actually comes back. Nishnabam moment. Pick one that came back on me. So I'll pick a different verb, but because those two M's, they won't come together like that, so the O actually comes back. So just kidding. Almost operates the same. Let me just pick a little different one. Here I picked one of the ones that I just was talking about. It does things a little differently without thinking. Gum. So gummo. Gum. I sing. Then gum. You sing. Gummo. She sing. Okay, I can't get past it. There's a couple of them apparently, so we'll just go. Gum. It's back to gum more. Well, I tried to get past that, but apparently there's a couple more that way I wasn't thinking. So then the gum moment, we, but not you sing. Gonna gum moment, we all sing. Gonna gum moment, you all sing. And then the gum week, they sing. But there's about, I don't know, there's not a ton of these, honestly. There's probably, I mean, you figure there's thousands of verbs, thousands of words. I mean, maybe 100 of these that I could like just rattle off real simple, like maybe, and that's really pushing it. And maybe closer to like 60 of them, maybe. I mean, in fact, in our tags, we have some of these in the tagged category on our dictionary. And I think I've only got about 30 of them tagged in there. That's simply because I've been lazy to tag them all, but there's still not that many beyond that, really. I mean, 160, 160. If 10,000 words or 20,000 words or 100,000 words, it's not that much. I'd say like less than, probably about 5% or less of verbs operate like that, probably. I don't know if that's a good estimate. Or actually, I could probably set it for this category with it, honestly. There's not a ton that do the E, that do the EA kind of alteration. Really, I mean, 75, 80% of the verbs operate with that namaji, gamaji pattern. So, but like I said, there's a few that do things a little differently, and it's just, you kind of just have to learn the basic patterns with those. And then occasionally you get one like wisna that doesn't follow any pattern, or at least not one that I'm aware of. Like, I can't think of another verb that operates like wisna. I'll show you what I mean. And that's a pretty common word, verb to eat, wisna. So it goes like this. That's your verb, wisna, so it's no wisen. Maybe it kind of operates like the ZE, I thought about that, but it flips, and then it's go wisen, but there's not other NEs that do this. So go wisen, you eat. That I've run into this. Wisna, he or she eats. Wisna, wisna. And we snip. So no wisen, go wisen, I eat, you eat, wisna, he or she eats, wisnaman, we but not you, go wisnaman, we all, go wisnam, you all eat, and then wisnak, they eat. And of course, I guess the dejnagas is kind of a funky word. It's a funky one too, when you think about it. And it's got that ZH at the front, like the way the Jia operates. And you have to use the long form, and it kind of changes the whole thing, and it shifts, like it flips around. So Jia, well, not Jia, Jinkazo is the verb. So it's got a couple of things going on. Jinkazo is the verb to be called something or name something. But when we do it, we've always been told to use the long form. So you go the dej, and this little thing flips over na, cause, and the O drops. That's the verb. So the O, so it's one of these O ones where the O drops, but it's also got this kind of internal thing going on that makes it like flip. And it's the dej nakas. But it just kind of flows together, so you might not recognize it's actually long form. The dej nakas. I am called. Gadej nakas. You're called. But then it's jinkazo. He or she is called. And then it's back to gadej nakas. Then gadej nakasman. Gadej nakazom. Cause weak. They're called. So it kind of operates like that O one, where the O kind of disappears, O disappears, the O's back, still gone, there's the O, and then it's weak. But this is one that we use all the time, but we really just use this form right here. We just use the Dejnikas. My name is Justin the Dejnikas, or we might use Gedejnikas, like Paul name Gedejnikas. And then a lot of times we'll use this form, the Shinkas. But we ask the questions, you're using this form. When you're saying Nietzsche Ejnikaji, but it still does a little funk. It's like still does a little funky move over. Need your edge in the caution. So it's just a little bit funky. This version of Kazo. It's got a lot of stuff going on inside of it. So it's definitely an irregular. It's irregular, but it's got some elements of some of the other ones, but it's got a lot going on in it. The PJWHBI and the Dochbia, that's irregular. So Dochbia, the verb itself is wedjabia. And the verb is wedjabia. Is he or she come from somewhere? So when you do it, you say Dochbia. What's happened is this turned to an A. You use the long form next to the W. This becomes a ch sound.
Well, it makes sense. If you look,
Yeah,
if you really
so
look at
this
it, it's just
sound right here
spelling.
is an O. So it's like Doch, yeah.
Or-
That's what's going on though. But this is really common, but yet really kind of wild when you think about
Yeah.
what's going on. So you're using the long form, the W disappears, or turns into that O sound, and ch and bia. Same with Gedochbia. Gedochbia, you are from somewhere, but then he or she is from somewhere, it's like Wedja, Bia. But knowing that's hard for people, because like, how the hell did I get from this Dochbia goes into Wedja Bia? Like, what? And so a lot of times when I teach this to people, I just tell them that's what it is. I don't go into this detail because I'm like, then I gotta go like, show them this, and they're like, what? But that's what's going on. You're using that long
It's just a spelling
thing, and it's like the O, it's becoming like an O sound. That's why it's doing that. But it's gonna do that the rest of the way down too, so it's gonna be, if we were to say we, but not you are from, we would say, Gedoch, and then Gedoch, we all, Gedoch, Amen. Gedoch, Biam, you all, and then Wedja, Biak. Okay. So, the Dochbia, I'm from, Gedochbia. And actually, what's cool about this too is this Wedja, if you understand it, I need a mark right there. It really means you're coming from a particular direction. That's what you're really saying. So I come from a certain place, a certain direction. Because you see this wetch end up in other words like wetch now quick is the south, wetch mokek is the east. It's the direction where the sun rises. It's the direction of noon. Wetch bagaj mok, it's the direction of the sun setting. And when you talk about in a noun form, it becomes wetch, the location, wetch where that happens. But that's what that wedge is telling you. It's like, so you're saying that someone comes from a certain direction or a certain place. It's they come from. When we translate in English, we would say you come from. I come from. But technically, you could actually, if you really want to be kind of funny about it, you could mess around with somebody and be like, hey, I need PGHPI in. Where are you coming from? And they might be like, and they could be like, oh, Tadi Gumgo, Deutschbia, I'm coming from the casino. But the way it tends to be used is more like, this is kind of like where I'm from. This is where I come from. But technically, you could say that, and it wouldn't be wrong. It'd be kind of amusing, actually. I'll have to remember that next time somebody asks me where I'm from. I was coming from the hotel, whatever. Is that blowing people's minds over there? Let me see if we got questions. Let me come around. So I feel like we definitely have some questions, and that's okay. Let me just come around here and see if there are some questions. Let's see here. No questions? Okay, y'all are just too bright. Too bright, or your minds are blown on the two, or both.
I had one question just about for saying I sit, you sit, all of that. The verbs, they're just that animate and transitive, or I'm just doing something, interacting with something.
These
not
are
somebody
all AI verbs that I'm talking
Okay.
about here. These are ones where like I'm doing it, but I'm not affecting somebody. You're doing it. They don't affect anybody. Yeah, Jeep Debe, Maj, same categories like the Maji, the Giwe, but these are ones that do little different things, if you will.
Okay.
Oh, Winnett. Okay. Okay, should I give you the last one? I'm already,
Yes, this is fun.
okay, I'm gonna give you one more, then there's one more that's kind of a little different. These are Y verbs. So, one last chance to blow your minds real completely. If I haven't messed your heads up yet, we can make sure that we finish you off here with this. But again, this is something that you're not gonna run into these as often. And when you do, a lot of times, you know, you're memorizing like how to say things like sit down, jitaban, that's not gonna affect that. You're saying, you know, or you're using it in its base form, you know, PJ, where you're sitting. And it doesn't really affect too much, but use BI, you know, which BI, where you come from. You're used to saying those little certain phrases and things like that. You don't necessarily, I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't have to learn to always to be able to conjugate all this, because you're not always going to say like, we but not you come from, da, da, da. I mean, how often are you going to say that? You might say, we come from, you might say, I come from, but you're not going to be like, you all, well, you all come from there, or they come from there. You know, some of these are not going to be used as much as you would, I'm doing it, you're doing it, they're doing it. So that you don't want to be too hard on yourself if they're kind of like, man, I'm not grabbing those. So, Wijanda, that's actually, excuse me, Wijande, and then, Yaknoge. Yaknoge, Widame. Widame. So we got Wijande, he or she cooks. Yaknoge, he or she is sick. Widame, he or she smokes. Let me think of another good Y one here that does this. Let's see, Yaknoge. Yahweh. Yeah, Yahweh. Okay, Wijande, Yaknoge, Widame, Yahweh. Wijande, he or she cooks. Yaknoge, he or she is sick. Widame, he or she smokes. Oh, I know what that word is. Which came in. Widumze, he or she is busy. Or no, not busy. No, busy, yeah. I was thinking of another one, Wijita. She's busy. So it's ready. What? And then dream is this last one over here. So we'll start with to be ready, because this is one that I do use quite a bit. And a lot of times I use the forms I really use on this, honestly, though, are just the I and the U mostly. And what you do with this is you use the long form here. So it's like this. Use long form. It's like do, jita. So there's an W there, but it disappears. So when we write it, we usually write do, jita. I'm ready. Do, jita, you're ready. Or do, I said,
Yeah, I was like, are you
sorry.
ready?
That's how I use it the most often. That's why I came out that name. I always say, you know, Gadoji down there, you ready? Gadoji down there, y'all ready? I say it all the time. So I put my name on there. So Gadoji ta, you are ready. Wujita, he or she is ready. Gadoji taman, we but not you are ready. I'd be ready to get out of here. Like, Gadoji Tom. This guy was getting to this, but we all are ready. Then Gadoji Tom, you all are ready. Since White's not here yet, I guess you guys are gonna have to tell him what this is about next time. Like, dear Dwight, this is okay. Like, what did we cover today? Well, it's complicated, but you all are ready. And then Mujit Tak. Well, there'll be a recording of this, but we're going to watch it later. I have a feeling it's going to get some views. So, Dojita, I'm ready. Gadojita, you're ready. Wajita, he or she is ready. Dojitaman, we but not you are ready. Gadojitaman, we all are ready. Gadojitam, you all are ready. Wajitak, they're ready. Again, what's happening here is you're using this long form right here, this nida, and that W is right there. So it turns into more of an O sound. Dojita. That's kind of what's happening with it. But again, of these right here, the ones that I use most often is Dojita and Gadojita. Are you ready? And then I use Gadojitam. Are you all ready? That's really the ones I use. Like, hey, Gadojitam, are you ready? Yeah, Gadojita, I'm ready. Like I might say that to one of you guys. That'd be something I commonly say. Or Gadojitam, are y'all ready? Gadojitam, are you all ready? So, but again, a lot of these, I mean, you may never really say, are we but not you ready? You can say, are they ready maybe, but you know, some of these are not, you're not going to come up with a lot of in conversation. You know, is he or she ready? I can see using that. Maybe come to pick somebody up. You're like, hey, Wajitame, Cindy, is Cindy ready? Wajitame, Cindy, is Cindy ready? Okay. Strangers' minds. Pretty solid here. Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to, my kids are having a fundraiser. This is my selfless promotion here. And I've got a packet of some stuff over there. They're selling if anybody's interested. It was over there. I don't know what happened to it.
How do you say fundraiser?
Mission Shonya.
Yeah, you should give me.
Making
Free money.
money. Shonya, Kevin, maybe. That's a good one, yeah. And y'all are acting like my daughter. She's always giving me the hard time. She knows like certain words. Like she's asked me before. She's like, "How do you say tattoo?" And I tell her, "Well, I asked Jim Thunder, asked other people. They didn't have a word for it." She's like, oh, "Okay, so you don't know." Okay. And then so then I thought about it a little while. I'd come up with a word. It's escaping me at this moment, but I came up with a word for it to describe kind of like putting markings on the skin, basically. And but yeah, she'll do that to me every once in a while. She'll be like, "How do you say?" Oh, don't have a word, do you? Because she'll get me. She'll come back and she'll ask me until I either, you know, come up with a word, a way of saying it, because it's descriptive. I always tell her the language is descriptive. You can say anything. So she's basically like, "Well, what are you doing? Why have you had a word for it?" Okay. So, but fundraiser, that's a good one. Shonya.
Post it online so that we can all see and maybe support her. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can do that if you would like. I think I got a link to it. I'll have to find it and post it somewhere. Again, a shameless self-promotion, I suppose. My kids, they want to get in this little fun bus, is what it is. If you sell 20 items, you get in the fun bus. I don't know. It's the simple pleasures of life. I don't know what this fun bus is. I think it's like video games, like Pop or something. Like, woo! Like they don't have that at home. But it's one of those deals for kids that just really appreciate those kinds of things. Okay, but enough of that here. Let me get into, let's do a verb like smoke. Wait a minute. It's going to operate a lot like this, okay? So it's going to go like this, and you're going to have, now what Winame has going on is it's got that little E, this E at the back, so it changes from the A and E, and it's got the W at the front. So like I'll just take this over, I'll just make it clear.
Ray is getting lonely, kind of sad. Like Eeyore or something.
Gray's not doing it for me. But I do yellow, I just don't know if yellow really would show up or what. I guess I can try and see. Okay, if it doesn't show up, I'll start erasing it, so y'all let me know right away. Let's see here.
My first time to ever do something like this, so to me, it's really bizarre.
Well,
Oh, William and Debbie are online.
bonjour, bonjour,
Bonjour.
bonjour. Let's see here.
How do I get back?
You might have to mute your deal there when you're out there. Are you
Okay.
muted? Yeah, okay, okay.
Okay, let's see where I gotta find him. There he is.
Working, we're gonna do it.
Okay, launch meeting. There we go. Bonjour.
Bonjour. Let's see. Flipping to the wrong verb here. Look at it. I'm having a brain cloud part here. Wait a minute, I'm gonna wait on that one. I keep thinking, when I'm trying to do that one, I keep thinking of this other one. Wait a minute. I'm doing it. So to be busy, I keep trying to write that one instead. So apparently that's the one I'm gonna write. Dotmus. I'm busy. Dotmus. You're busy. The Demzak. He was busy. Don't yes, men, we but not you, are busy. The don't yes, men, we all are busy. The don't
Let's go this way.
Yeah. Hold on.
Miigwech, I have to go, Justin. But Mapi,
Bonjour.
Okay, Dotmus, I'm busy. Gedotmus, you're busy. With Demze, he or she is busy. Gedotmazaman, we but not you are busy. Gedotmazaman, we all are busy. Gedotmazam, you all are busy. And with Demzik, they are busy. So I think on that note, I think we're gonna stop because now my mind's starting to melt down. I was trying to write a different one and I started writing the other one, so I'm just gonna, I feel like everybody else's minds are probably going. So that's okay. Again, a lot of these forms, they don't fit in, I mean, most of them fit into our general pattern, the Namaji, Gamaji. There's a few that are a little bit irregular, but even those kind of fit into a category, if you will. We'll do some more of these in the future. I just wanted to kind of introduce you to some of these. Don't get too worried or don't try to get overwhelmed with these or nothing. I mean, they're just a little part of things, and as we get a little deeper in language, it's nice to kind of fine tune things and kind of look at some of those kind of irregular ones and kind of understand why they do things that they do. But just focus, make sure that you know your AIs, your Namaji, Gamaji, Maji, Namaji, Gamaji, Gamaji, Maji, get that pattern down. Know your way, Nija, Nijetso, Nija, 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 we, get all those who, what, when, where, why ones, get those down so it's bam, you know them. Get your conjunctive names, your yan, yin, ti, yak, you go, yuck, wah. Get all those down. Once you got all that down, and your demonstratives, your oda, your o, your ago, your oda, gi, egi, that's that kind of distance from you. Once you have all those items down, then you can kind of come back and look at these. Or if you already have them down, then this is a great place to kind of explore and kind of dabble around a little bit. But again, but this is recorded, so hopefully we can we'll get it up here not too far down the road. And I will put that up somewhere. I don't know where I should put it though, because I don't really want to put it in the general language. So that's kind of jacked. So, maybe I'll just share that with those of you that I think I might have shared on my page once, or I could share like a little text if anybody wants that information. Just let me know if you do, and I'll share that too. No pressure. You don't have to. It's not a requirement of the class or anything, so please don't feel that way. I'm just trying to help the kids get their fundraisers done. I'm not doing bad stuff so far because I've done nothing with them. So, bomb on in. Big wedge.
Where'd you
say it was at? It should be over there. Where it went? I gotta go. Keep moving it. I'm not seeing it. Maybe.
They ordered stuff or someone.
Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for her.
No, I have actually been thinking this for so long, and women really are living in easy mode these days. You see, after we get back from work in which we do jobs where we do the same work as men but get paid way more, we can use that money to buy products that society built literally just for us, like pepper spray and mace and daggers disguised as lipstick and those necklaces and those rings with the GPS devices in them that can text your family members where you are when you press. No, I have actually been thinking this for so long, and women really are living in easy mode these days. You see, after we get back from work in which we do jobs where we do the same work as men but get paid way more, we can use that money to buy products that society built literally just for us, like pepper spray and mace and daggers disguised as lipstick and those necklaces and those rings with the GPS devices in them that